ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्नाम् अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नामरूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धेर्दृग्यत्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्त वेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यत् इति मे निश्चिता मतिः। Author concluded the topic of Adhikari, where he made sure that who is the Adhikari of this text. Which is this text? This text is Vichara Sagar, inquiry, ocean of inquiry. Inquiry into what? Inquiry into one's own true nature. The question was raised in general that nobody desires to know Brahman, which is our own Swarupa. Why? Because everybody desires sense pleasures, nobody thinks of their own true self, etc. Therefore, nobody will take up this inquiry. So you need not write this text, need not compose this text. For which answer was given, no, there are four types of people. One is Pamara, Vishayi, Jidnyasu and Mukta. Pamara and Vishayi, they seek happiness in the world outside. And while seeking that happiness in the world outside, they do not care for the happiness which is available hereafter or by some other means, or which is of different nature. In that, he additionally said that even though Vishayi seeks happiness which is available hereafter or which is something different than sense pleasures, yet because he takes up wrong means as the right ones, he mixes them up, he superimposes the appropriateness of means, the rightfulness of means on the wrong ones, he ends up gaining sense pleasures alone. The reference is with Devatadi Sharira or going to Swargadika Loka. Going to higher worlds does not mean you are going to get better sense pleasures. Yes, in a way, comparatively, those sense pleasures are better, but they still are mixed with sorrows. In the end, you are not going to gain the aim that which you desire. What is that? Happiness devoid of any sorrows. Then for Mukta, who has gained everything that is to be gained, who has done anything and everything that is to be done, for him, there is nothing that can be achieved, because he himself is that Brahman which is the ultimate truth, reality. He does not see something or anything which can be achieved which is different from himself. Therefore, for all these three types of people, Pamara, Vishayi and Mukta, this text is not being composed at all. Of course, Mukta, the person who is liberated, may take in sport, playfully, the inquiry into this text, just to see what the person has written and what has been told. But in reality, his study, his inquiry into this text, study of this text, is not going to serve any purpose for that Mukta, for that liberated person. Therefore, in conclusion, this text is being composed for those who are seekers of liberation in the way by means of knowing that Brahman. this is a very beautiful point where author had said that Jidnyasu and Mumukshavaha. In that statement, he had used two words, Jidnyasu and Mumukshu. Why Jidnyasu and Mumukshu? Because Mumuksha is for everyone. Everybody desires happiness devoid of any sorrow. In that sense, everybody is a Mumukshu. That's what author explained earlier. But the difference is this Jidnyasu desires the same goal with through appropriate means, by taking up the rightful means, that is knowing Brahman, which is my own Swarupa, my own true self. So for those Jidnyasus, I am composing this text. So now for the opponent, all the questions about Adhikari are over. He is satisfied, but still he has doubts about the topic of this text, the Vishaya. Therefore, he raises the objection. He raises the objections about the topic. And when I say the topic, let's just jump back for a short to Anubandha Chatushtaya, Adhikari Vishaya Sambandha Prayojana. The topic of Adhikari, who is the well qualified person and who will take up study of this text, or who should take up study of this text, is over. Now coming back to the topic, question is now being raised. Jiva Brahmanoho Aikya Rupa Vishaya Akshepaha. यत्तूक्तं जीवब्रह्मणोरैक्यमेवास्य ग्रन्थस्य विषयः इति तन्नोपपद्यते यतः तयोः स्वभावभेदात्. Because in nature, by themselves, Jiva and Brahma are different. Brahma is free from avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha ityadi. There is no avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, all these five kleshas, five defects in that Brahman. It is all pervasive. There is none other like Brahman. It is one and one alone, ekam eva advitiyam. There are no intrinsic differences, there are no differences of species, differences of different objects also. Thus, Brahman is all pervasive, all almighty, all almighty, etc. But who is a Jiva? Jivastu Nikhila Klesha Bhak Pariच्छिन्नो nekascha यावन्ति शरीराणि तावन्तो जीवाः सर्वशरीरेषु जीवस्यैकत्वाभ्युपगमे तु एकशरीरे जायमान सुखदुःखादयः सर्वशरीरेषु जायेरन् न तु तथा अस्ति. He raises a very beautiful point and very good point from common sense, a practical standpoint. Jivaha tu, but on the contrary, tu vyatyasa, exactly the opposite of whatever that has been said earlier. Jivaha, but Jiva, Nikhila Klesha Bhak, Bhak, the owner, the one who has this quality. That's why they say Dhana Bhaj. The original root word is Dhana Bhaj. Bhaj meaning the one who has. Dhana is Dhana Bhaj. In the same way, Nikhila Klesha, the one who has all these five kleshas, is a Jiva. Is he Vyapaka? No, not at all. It is, he is Paricchinna, very much limited. Yeah, as much is the body, so much is Jiva. Actually, it's not true in that sense, but that's what we observe, that's what it appears to be. Yavanti sharirani tavanto jivaha. As long as many are the bodies, so many are jivas. Sarva sharireshu jivasya ekatvaabhyupagametu. Abhyupagama, this is called as Abhyupeyavada, or a mode or modus of argument. Let's say what you say is true. Let's take up your statement as true. What is that? Sarva sharireshu jivasya ekatva abhyupagame. In all these bodies, there is one and one jiva alone, or here jiva refers to that upahita chaitanya. Chaitanya, Brahman, along with conditioning upadhi. एक शरीरे जायमान सुख दुःखादयः सर्व शरीरेषु जायेरन्. If such was the case, then the sorrows and happiness which are experienced in one body, those sorrows and happiness will be experienced by other bodies also, or will be experienced in other shariras. Sarva sharireshu jayeran. Natu tatha asti. Simple. Let's take the serial arrangement of lights. It's not parallel but serial arrangement. When you turn the switch on, all the lights in that line will light up. Why? Because there is one and one electrical connection which is passing through all of them. So if one light goes away, if one light fuses, all lights will go away. If one light gets lit up, all lights are going to get lit up. That means if such was the case, as you said, if there was one jiva, there was aikya, then sorrows and happiness which are experienced in one body will be experienced in other body also. But that's not how we observe, how we see it to be. There are many people who are crying, who are sorrowful, but I am not feeling that sorrow. Natu tathastu, natu tathasti. Therefore, that is not the case. Now, additional objection is being raised. Here, earlier the objection was with Jiva and Brahman. There, in that argument, let's just see certain points. Actually, author has given this in Tippani, sub-commentary, but it is very much extensive, but which is a common understanding. So I have not put those in slides, but let's go through them. Author says, what is the objection? Objections and the answers. Sarva sharireshu yadi eka eva atma syat tada जीवात्म परमात्म ऐक्यमपि स्यात् न तु तथास्ति अनेकत्वात् आत्मनः. If there was one jiva in all bodies, then alone there could have been oneness between jiva and Brahman. Just as the electricity which is in that main switchboard, if there was one serial connection, then alone the electricity which is passing through all those bulbs would be the same as that which is the original one. If it is parallel connection, how can you say that it is that same electricity? I'm just giving the example so to have the understanding. And that's not how we observe it to be. Therefore, because it is not so, Anekatvat Atmana. Why is it not so? Because Atma, the self, they are many in number. Just going slightly off the topic here, this question or this dogma in Vedanta has been extensively studied and explained in many different ways. Primarily, 3 different ways to be precise. The 2 examples are very much famous. The examples are one sun which is being reflected in different pots of water. One and one sun alone which is reflected in different pots of water. One may be mud pot, one may be silver pot, one may be gold pot, or there might be an ocean, there might be a lake, there might be a well. In all these water bodies, may those be small, may those be large, may those be contained in valuable material, or may those be contained in uh, non-expensive material, earthenware. Yet the reflection is that of the sun alone, and there is no difference in that reflection. So the appearance of many reflections is on account of different embodiments, different upadhis. Another example which is given is of the pot space and the whole space, the space and the pot space. So universal space, the space is one and one alone, but because of different pots, different conditionings, it appears to be different. Say I have 5-6 different types of pots in front of me. They are of different shapes. Let's say one is just regular mud pot, one is tea kettle which is made up of china, bone china. One is that large pot which is tall in structure. All these encompass or condition space in them. But in reality, the space which is contained in them is not different from the total space. So the differences are on account of upadhi. Now we come to very beautiful point. When will those differences be real? When will those differences, those reflections and these spaces, pot spaces and reflections of sun, they will be real only when the upadhi, the conditioning, will become real. If the condition is real, then the conditioned will be real. What do I mean? Simple. We had seen that example earlier. That red colored cloth which gives red color to the crystal. If really the red color was on that crystal, it would have been the red color of that crystal. But in contact with that red colored cloth, the color appears to be of that of crystal. Same way, these upadhis are appearances. They are not really there. And when we say they are not really there, what do we mean? And this is a very important point which we should not misunderstand anywhere, because it is very much easy to misunderstand. We never say that they are non-existent, but they are limited by time. Before they appeared, they were not there, and after they are gone, they are not there. Thus, in between, while they are appearing, they are not really there. Whatever that is conditioned by time is not real. And whatever that never exists, like horns on my head, the sky flower in the sky, the son of a barren woman, they can never be. Those are the things which are non-existent, not the world which is appearing. So coming back to our earlier point, anekadvat atmanah, the questioner is taking all these differences to be real. Therefore, the conditionings or the dharma, the qualities of conditionings, they become real. when conditionings become real, the qualities of those conditionings, they also become real, and when they become real, they will affect the Atma they condition. When conditioning becomes real, their qualities become real, and they will affect the Atma which is real. Only when the red color becomes real, then alone it will stick to that crystal. It will never go away but just by removing that crystal away from the cloth. So, Atmanah anekatve na kinchidapi pramanam asti. Now answer is being given. Yes, what you say is true, but it is baseless. It doesn't have any support, it doesn't have validation. You are saying that there are many Atma, but give me an example, give me pramana, the means by which you can validate that Atma, the selves are many. It is on account of Ajnana and Ajnana alone. It does not have any valid proof by which it can be proved that self are many in number. Let's take Upanishads, let's take Vedanta as pramana. Nowhere it has been said that self are many, but everywhere it has been said that it is one and one alone. एको देव सर्वभूतेषु गूढ़ः इत्यादि श्रुतिभिः. एको देवः सर्वभूतेषु गूढ़ः सर्व कर्माध्यक्षः सर्वभूताधिवासः साक्षी चेता केवलो निर्गुणस्य etc. So eko deva, that deva is one and one alone, sarvabhuteshu gudha. It appears, it is there, existing in all upadhis. So अग्निर्यथैको भुवनं प्रविष्टः रूपं रूपं प्रतिरूपो बभूव एकस्तथा सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा रूपं रूपं प्रतिरूपो बहिश्च इत्यादि श्रुतिभ्यः. Another example which has been given in Kathopanishad, it is said, when you start burning firewood, those fire logs or those firewood is of different shape and sizes. Once they start burning, they lit up with that bright red orange color. If you just take those out, they will not burn, but they will have that spark in them. Now, they are not really burning, like the flames are not coming out, but they are still red hot. Now, those different shaped wood pieces of firewood, have fire which has entered in them. That fire in reality is not different because the quality of that fire is same everywhere. It's not that fire in that one piece of wood is going to burn and the other piece of wood is not going to burn. That's not the case. So fire is same, but it appears in different shape and sizes based on the shape and size of that firewood. In the same way, the self, the real self, that Brahman which has entered in all these different upadhis, appears different bahishcha, externally, but in reality it is one and one alone. So here he says, wait. You did not let me answer your question. What are you trying to say? The questioner says, Atmanah anekatve na pramana bhavah. It's not that there is no valid means by which differences of Atma can be proven. There are valid means. There are pramanas. There are means of knowledge by which it can be proven that self are many. प्रत्यक्षादि अनेक प्रमाण सत्वात्, starting from pratyaksha pramana etc., everywhere it is very much evident that Atma is many. Okay, tell me. This is where we come into picture. These are our experiences, and this is where we commit mistakes. This is where these are the pointers where we have to do viveka, and these are the common mistakes which we do. Pratyaksha pramana, whatever that can be perceived through 5 sense organs directly. ब्राह्मणोहम क्षत्रियोहम इत्यहंकार पूर्वकम प्रतिप्राणि शरीरात्म भेदः प्रत्यक्षः एव. Somebody will say, I am a Brahmana, I am a Kshatriya, I am a wise, I am a fool, I am a child, I am a grown-up man, etc. So everybody is experiencing himself, explaining himself to be different from the other. So that a Brahmana, Kshatriya, tall, short, elder person, younger person, all these. Atma is different. Is it not? सर्वदेहेषु आत्मनः एकत्वे त्वम् अहम् अयम् इत्यादि भेद व्यवहारः न स्यात्. If there was one and one self alone in all these bodies, nobody would have said I am, you are, he is, I, me, he, my, mine. All these differences, all these ideas themselves would not have been there. When the Atma would have been one and one alone. On the contrary, because these differences are seen, Atma is many, self are many. Okay. I will answer all these arguments later. What's your next pramana, next means of knowledge? Arthapatti pramanam. Arthapatti is type of anumana, but in Arthapatti it is, let me give you an example. Devadattaha diva na bhungte tathapi pinaha drishyate. Devadatta, a person, he does not eat during daytime, but yet he is a fat, he is obese person. That means he must be eating at night. It's a type of conclusion. Atmanaha nanatva abhave tvam aham ayam ityadi bheda vyavaharaha na syat. If Atma was not many, then this vyavahara, I am, I, me, you, etc. would not have been there. Because this vyavahara, these transactions are seen, this way of expression is seen, Atma must be many. Anumana pramana, inference. Vimata atma pratishariram bhinnaha. Pratishariram tvam aham ayam iti vyavahara bhedat tattat sharira rupa vyakti bhedacha ghatasharavadivat iti anumana pramanam api. Do you not explain pots based, or do you not describe pots based on their different shapes, sizes and color? Yes. In the same way, you describe yourselves to be different from the other person based on many different things. That means the differences are real, just as the differences in pot are real. If those bodies are different, then the Atma contained within is different. This is inference. Very easily it can be inferred. Shruti Puranadi Pramanam. You talked about Vedanta, you talked about Purana, etc. We also have quotations from those. What is that? Shruti Puranadishu Devadanava Yaksharakshasa Gandharva Kinnara Kim Purusha Manavadi Bheda Vada Darshanad Atmananatvam eva siddhyati. All these different varieties of people have been described in all these. There are Yaksha, there are Gandharva, there are Kinnara, all these celestial beings, the human embodiments, etc. And if those have been explained, difference must be real. If difference was not real, there was no need to explain all these differences. This is what subconsciously, this is what we are thinking, this is what we have accepted. And in our meditation, this is where we have to do viveka, discrimination. Yukti, now logic. Yadi atma sarvasharireshu ekaha abhyupagamyate. If, as you say, if it was true that in all these embodiments, Atma, the self, was one and one alone, tada ekasya sukha dukkha dina sarvesham tadupalabdhi sankarya syat. Then when one is happy, everybody will be happy. One is sorrowful, everybody is sorrowful. Tatha ekasya jnanatishyena sarvepi jnaninah syuhu तथा सति विधि प्रतिषेध शास्त्राणाम वैयर्थ्य प्रसंगः. If one becomes jnani, everybody will be jnani, and then there won't be any need to say do this and don't do that, because we need to say, it is required to explain that do these things and don't do these things. That means differences are real. Tasmat atmananatvam syuhu iti yuktam. Therefore, it is appropriate to say that self are many and different from each other. So, pratyaksha, it is very much evident. I experience myself to be different from the other person. Because all these embodiments are different, the Atma content within must be different. In Shruti, Smriti, Purana, etc., Deva, Yaksha, Kinnara, Gandharva, etc., they have been explained as different. Therefore, there are differences. And not just that, if Atma was one in all embodiments, by experiencing happiness by one embodiment, all the embodiments would have experienced happiness, all would have experienced sorrow. And that's not how we see it. That's not what is seen. If that's not what is seen, then Atma must be many in number. Self must be many in number. Are you done now? Yes. Are these your arguments? Yes. Now let me answer all those. यत्तूक्तम अहम इति अहम प्रत्ययस्य भेदाद आत्मा अनेकः इति तन्न युज्यते. Whatever that you said, everybody says me, everybody considers themselves to be different, and because everybody considers themselves to be different as I, me, you, etc., Atma are many, that's not appropriate. Why? Aham shishuhu, aham kumarah, yuvakaha, aham vruddhaham इत्यादि व्यवहारेषु शैशवाद्यवस्था भेदैः अहम प्रत्ययस्य भेदेप्येक एव आत्मा सर्वावस्थास्वनुवर्तते. Pardon. By that logic, self will be many throughout life. When you were a small kid, you said, I am a child. When you grow younger, I said, I am a young person. When you grew old, you said, I am an old person. So, I am young, I am a child, I am young, I am old. Atma will be different throughout your life based on avastha, based on your age. Is that the case? Are you different throughout your life? No, I am that same person. Then, how can the Atma be many just on account of saying, I am this body, etc.? Nahi yavanadhyavasthasu kaumaradhyavasthantaranuvrittihi asti. Tathapi bhinnasu sarvasu अपि अवस्थासु एकः एव अहं शब्दाभिधेयः आत्मा अनुवर्तमानः अनुभूयते. But throughout all those differences in conditionings, throughout life, one and oneself alone is experienced, and it is continuous, anuvartate. There again, let's take example or explanation by which this topic will be clear. अनुवर्तमानस्वसु व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानसु महमित्यन्तस्फुरन्त्येकधा. If that self was different, then old person would never have remembered that what happened in his childhood. Simple. The experiencer of childhood, the experiencer of younghood, the experiencer of old age was different, then the experiencer in old age would never have remembered anything and everything in earlier life. Because he remembers. Why does he remember? Because he continuously was present throughout all those experiences. That's why he is one and one alone. Therefore, your argument based on pratyaksha pramana is fallacious. For your argument, there is counter argument. In other words, by using your logic, by using your own argument, I can prove it to be different. So, Atma is one and one alone. Now coming to अर्थापत्ति. एकस्मिन् एव देहे यथा अवयवभेदाम् आश्रित्य शिरः पाणिपादादि व्यवहारः सिद्ध्यति, तथा सकल शरीरेषु आत्मनः एकत्वेपि तत्तत् शरीर भेदाश्रित्य त्वम् अहम् अयम् इत्यादि भेद व्यवहारः उपपद्येत. In that one body itself, you use legs for walking, hands for doing work, eyes for seeing, nose for breathing, etc. So all these organs are used for different purposes, even though they are part of one and one body alone. So activities are seen different in all these organs, but you never say hand is different from this body. If I am to say this is my body, this is my body, this is me, my legs, when I point out to my legs, this is me, this is me. Wherever on my body I point out, any organ which I point out, I say this is me. So I am not differentiating in between organs as different parts, but I say they are the same, even though the work done by all those is different. Same way, all the activities which are seen different in each and every embodiment, and even though they are indicated as different, in reality they are not different. So your arthapatti, your conclusion also is wrong. Inference. शरीर व्यक्ति भेदात् त्वम् अहम् अयम् इत्यादि व्यवहार भेदात् आत्मनः नानात्वानुमाने न प्रमाणम्. स्थूल सूक्ष्म कारण शरीराणां जाग्रत स्वप्न शरीराणां च भेदेपि अहम् अहमिति प्रत्यभिज्ञायमानस्य आत्मनः भेदाभावात्. What was your inference? What was your anumana? Your anumana was tvam aham ayam iti vyavahara bhedat. Embodiments are different. Based on different embodiments, Atma is many. Like pot, for which the answer is given. which is much similar to that which was given in Pratyaksha. It is said, Vyavahara bhedat atmanaha nanatvamanam. Just because Vyavahara activities are different, they are not many. Sthula Sukshma Karana Shariranam. All these three, Sthula Sharira, gross body, subtle body, and causal body. Jagrat Swapna Shariranam. The Jagrat Sharira, the body which is experienced in waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. Bhede api, even though they are experienced different from each other, aham iti pratyabhijnayamanasya atmanah bheda bhavat. Pratyabhijnayamanasya, the one who remembers. Pratyabhijna is a very beautiful and important concept in Vedanta. What is that? Pratyabhijna is tatta idanta eka bhavavagahini vritti. The understanding, the knowledge which combines thatness and thisness of two experiencers or two experiences. Tatta, thatness, idanta, thisness, ekatva, ekabhavavagahini. The one who was asleep, he alone is in waking state. That oneness, understanding of that oneness is pratyabhijna. If that was not the case, nobody would have remembered that he slept. Nobody would have remembered that he was dreaming. Because there is one and one person, experiencer alone, even though while experiencing he considers himself to be different, he is one. In the same way, all throughout Vyavaharas, throughout embodiments, experiencers are seen to be different. They are not different at all. Anumana Pramana gone. Now, Shruti Smriti Purana, etc. Purvokta, whatever that you said, Brahmadi Stamba Paryanta Tatta Deha Bheda Dhinaha Nanatma Bheda Nibandhanaha. But whatever that you said, that is externally true, but in reality, as we said, Eko Devaha Sarvabhuteshu Gudaha, that one alone is appearing throughout all these embodiments. One alone has entered into all those embodiments. Just because embodiments are different, that does not explain, does not conclude that that which is contained within has to be different. Just because embodiment is different, embodiments are different, that which is contained within must be different. That is not the rule. Therefore, based on that Shruti Smriti etc. also, your logic is fallacious. Now coming to your logic, आत्मनः एकत्वे एकस्यत्व सर्वज्ञत्वे न्यत्वे सर्वे सर्वज्ञः स्युः ततः विधिनिषेधादि शास्त्रम् अनर्थकं स्यात् इति इतीयमपि शंका न युज्यते. You said that when one gains knowledge, everybody will gain knowledge. So there is no need for shastra etc. That is not right, appropriate. Why? एकस्मिन् यद्यपि एक एव आत्मा सर्वदा सर्वत्र सर्वविजानाति तथापि तत्तद्देहस्थान्तःकरणवृत्तिद्वारा एव घटपटादि विषय विशेषान् जानाति. यतः देहभेद निबन्धनः बुद्धिभेदः ततः एव प्रतिदेहं ज्ञानभेदः अपि अवश्यं जायेतैव. Embodiments are different. As embodiments are different, the antahkarana is different also. And knowledge takes place in antahkarana. So, when in one antahkarana, when knowledge takes place, it is not necessary that knowledge should take place in different antahkarana also. Let's come back to our earlier example so we understand it much clear. Even though the space is same, that which is contained within is same. If one pot had, say, pieces of charcoal inside or pieces of radish inside, then there the smell of radish will be there. If one contained milk, the smell of that milk will be there. But it is not necessary that that smell should be experienced in all embodiments. Knowledge, when takes place in one antahkarana vritti contained in one condition, embodiment, it is not, why should it be a rule that it should reflect in other embodiments also? Those antahkaranas are different. That inner instruments, that mana, buddhi, chitta, etc. is different. And therefore, for each antahkarana vritti, different knowledge is required. Let's make it much more easier. There are 10 number of people in one room. And if we show one object alone, one thing and one thing alone, then 10 people will have 10 different opinions about that object. Why is it so? Because antahkarana vritti, that antahkarana is different throughout all those people. Thus, all your logic is fallacious, it is half cooked. Just go one step ahead. Actually, this is how the inquiry starts. If people or if person starts thinking, he has to progress and validate if his argument is right or wrong by posing counter arguments. And by that, he will come to an understanding and conclusion, oh, whatever that I thought to be real earlier is not really real. I thought it was real, but whatever the arguments which I made earlier are now wrong. They don't hold good. This is a sign of a jidnyasu. Pamara or Vishay, he is not even going to think of all these things. He may occasionally think, but he will just disregard it as something unwanted, something unnecessary, and leave it behind. The person who has started thinking in this way should actually continue and validate and verify if his argument, his thinking, way of thinking is right or not. In the same way, while to make sure our understanding, our conclusion, our Vedantic knowledge is firm, we have to pose counter questions to whatever that we know and try to find answers to that. So the doubts will be removed. Why? Because we have done manana. After having explained that Jiva is one and one alone, and there is oneness between Jiva and Brahma, author comes to Sakshi Brahmaikya Vishaye Akshepaha. There is oneness between who is a Sakshi and who is and Brahman. But upon that oneness, argument is now being raised or question is being raised. Jivatirikta sakshi nasti. There is no sakshi which is different from jiva. Satvepi sakshi nana iti shanka. Jiva is different, sakshi is different. Sakshi is Chaitanya which is available in this embodiment for experience, but which has exactly the same qualities of that of Brahman. But Jiva is conditioned consciousness, conditioned Chaitanya with Upadhi. Sakshi does not have any Upadhi. He says Sakshi himself is not different from Jiva. Sakshi is Jiva and Jiva alone. And even if you say that Sakshi is different from Jiva, Sakshi also are many in number. For which answer will be given, but that we will see next time. Om Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.